Well, what is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. I hope everybody's having a great day. I have a CRKT, Columbia River Knife and Tool knife on the table, and I haven't done a CRKT in a really long time. This one interests me for a couple of reasons. One is annoying, the other is not so much. The first thing that I want to say is that they're releasing a new version of this. It's 2022, with a fancy inlay, which you might be able to get down the road a little ways. I saw it in their catalog, so I thought I'd give the original a look. This is the Symmetry. It is a Rogers design. It is a double detent knife, so there's no locking mechanism, right? It is a front or top flipper, like that, right? I think you can front flip it this way. Let's give it a shot. Get your thumb up here. Yeah, no, that doesn't work nearly as well as the top flip. They say it's hollow ground, and it might be just a little tiny bit. GRN inlays, stainless steel frame. The pocket clip on this particular knife is reversible. You can put it on this side by changing these screws around. It's got a nice lanyard spot on the back. But it's called the Symmetry. Now, symmetry means to be symmetrical, and this is not. It's not symmetrical here. One side is lower than the other, although both sides of the knife are the same. The actual knife is not symmetrical. Neither is the blade. It's a drop point, which means one side is longer than the other. It's just annoying. If you're me, it's just annoying. The knife itself, however, is a nice lightweight little carry. I've been carrying smaller knives lately because of what I do for a living and where I work, and this has been in my pocket actually a couple of times, and I've enjoyed it quite a bit. Look, HCR13 is nobody's idea of the perfect steel, but these are about $40 right now. What am I doing? I'm cutting open packages, right? It's not in a pinch, it's a survival tool, but it's not really. This is a functional daily tool for opening packages and cutting tape and string and whatever else you need to do lightly and in the moment. And for that, the Symmetry here is a fairly nice little knife, does a great job. It is very comfortable because of the neutrality of the handle, right? Now, I'm not a huge fan of double detent knives normally. The guys over at Monterey Bay Knives make a couple of really nice ones, but I tend to put my thumb forward on the blade, and of course, you don't want to do that with a double detent knife. But the handle on this is long enough that I find myself kind of keeping it back here as it is, and there's no obvious natural spot on the top of the blade here for me to put my thumb down to, or fingers onto. So it doesn't really inspire me to want to do that too much, and that's great. It's a safety thing. Double detent knives are non-locking. The blade itself is short enough. This is very legal in a lot of places, and that matters, right? Not everybody can carry what I normally carry, right? Stuff like this, or big stuff like this. These aren't, certain places that you may live, these would not work for you because they are locking and they're over 3 inches and so on and so forth. This is not like that. This has none of those problems. CRKT has long been, I have a love-hate relationship with the company because they have phenomenal designs made in subpar materials. They have some of the best designers on the planet putting their names on CRKT knives, and they make them out of pot steel. And anyway, let's not get into that. Let's get into this. So the Symmetry, let's talk about what it is. It is, as I said, a really handy sort of everyday carry tool. It's got a very nice pocket clip with enough lift back here to get into thicker pants. It's got a nice ramp, good spring. The glass reinforced nylon, right? The GRN inlays are nicely done. As you can see, they sort of mimic carbon fiber, but they are not. Don't get confused with that. The action on this knife is fine. Because it's double detent, you just kind of roll it closed, but it snaps right open, which is nicely done. There's no blade rock, no wiggle. It's very firm. It's good. And because it's double detent, it's not going to pop open on you. There's a detent that holds it closed and a detent that holds it open, right? I like this little thing. As I said, I'm annoyed at the name, but hey, nobody asked me. Let's get some basic specs out of the way, shall we? On the Symmetry, which is not symmetrical. Okay, last one. No, I'll probably, because it just really bugs me. You're looking at, it says 2.7, but it's maybe 2.7 inches of HCR13 MOV on the cutting, 2.75 to the end, probably 2.6 or a little bit of cutting edge. The grip area, which is the entire length of the knife, is very generous. You're coming in at 3.5 inches, which is a little short for my hand, but because it's neutral, right? There's nothing to force your hand in any particular spot. It is very comfortable. It is very lean in the hand. Overall, what are we looking at? We are 6.5 to the end of the knife, 6 3/4 if you count the big lanyard nub on the back, but you can or can't, that'd be up to you. Closed profile on this thing is an absolute joy. We are coming in at just about 3/4 of an inch at the widest part, and the closed length is 4 1/4, right? It is a really compact, I just love that opening. It is very snappy on the open, very satisfying. It really is. The Symmetry is an older CRKT. I tend to like their older stuff. I haven't had a lot of new stuff on the channel. And I will say the following. If you have a newer CRKT knife that you would like me to review, I'd be happy to do it. I'd even pay for shipping. Just hit me up and let me know over on Instagram or here. I'd be happy to review your CRKT collection. Let's do some size comparisons. It's not a big knife, so even our little knife, the Bugout, is going to dwarf it in size. But again, there are places where a knife this big is a legal challenge. You might work in an office where people get scared of big, scary knives like the Bugout. You know what I mean, though, right? It is entirely possible that you work somewhere where a knife even the size of the Bugout is a challenge for a lot of reasons. This would be an excellent option. For our large knife comparison, what should we compare it against? What do we have out? Oh, well, here it is against the TRM Atom, which is a decent sized knife. As you can see, the Symmetry is considerably smaller. And here it is against our old friend, the full-size Presidio 2 from Benchmade, which just dwarfs it, right? In a tiny knife comparison, here it is against the Baby Bugout, right? So it is longer. You get more cutting than the Baby Bugout. Of course, the Baby Bugout has far superior blade steel. But for such a tiny knife, one of the reasons I love the Baby Bugout, Banter. Baby Banter, my God. Well, okay, hold on. Yes, that is the Baby Banter, not Bugout. But since I've said Bugout like 6 times, here it is against the Mini Bugout. That is a fairly competitive and comparable size. The difference is this is over $100 and that is $39. Do you get better blade steel? Absolutely. Do you get better materials? Absolutely. But you could buy 3 of these for one of those. That might be up to you. Once again, this is the Baby Banter. This is the Mini Bugout. I know what I'm talking about. It has been a very long day. It's actually a really nice little comparison right there. And for those of you wondering who have not had a Mini Bugout, there is the size difference there, right? Maybe I'll try a Mini Bugout for work. My esteemed partner in crime and wife, Women Carry Knives, has 2 or 3 of the things. So maybe I'll carry this one this week. I could review it then. Anyway, let's get back to the Symmetry. In short, or now that it's almost long, this is a really nice, interesting knife from CRKT for a reasonable price. Now, they were $60 when they were originally released. That is excessive for HCR13 MOV. But at $40, they're 39 something right now on Blade HQ. For $40, it's a nice little knife, right? I have no fundamental complaints. This one has a little bit of a smile right back here at the base of the plunge, which is annoying but not unusual for CRKT. The blade is nicely stonewashed. which, I mean, really, they do a great stonewash, and you can see the difference between the shine on the edge and the blade itself. There's a fair amount of billboarding, which I could do without, considering, again, that it shouts symmetry and then isn't symmetrical. But hey, you know, you take your chances, I guess. Let's weigh it. I don't think it's going to weigh very much, but I have been fooled before. Yeah, 2.5 ounces. It is definitely, you know, it's a little heavier than the Bugout. But the banter, yeah. So we're in, you know, baby banter range. It's a very light, easy carry, and I like it quite a bit. Would I spend the money on the new fancier one? No, I would not, because this is sufficient. And at the price, you're not going to go wrong. So in the end, that's where we're going to wrap it up. Thank you for watching. This has been the CRKT Symmetry, a Rogers design, an older model, but again, they're releasing a newer, fancier version if you're interested in such a thing. I'll put a link in the description down below. You can find one of these at Blade HQ if you're so inclined. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.